game you go into it, try and just highlight guys. Miles got a game ball. I thought it was probably pretty worthy. But you're just constantly trying to recognize your guys. We spent time this morning as well pointing out all of our guys and the jobs they did. Point out Gage having a big punt return, which was huge for our team. Your D-line doesn't get 10 sacks unless the coverage is really good. Obviously, a rookie starting his first game on the road, getting a win is huge. So you acknowledge all that with your team.
Kevin, before...
What just happened in the world of football was truly amazing. If you blinked, you might have missed the most brutally honest press conference by a quarterback in the NFL this season. Shedeur Sanders, the son of famous coach Coach Prime Sanders, just talked to reporters after starting for the Cleveland Browns for the second week in a row. And what he said has shocked everyone in the league. This isn't your typical rookie who thanks his teammates and spouts corporate jargon. No, this is the raw, unfiltered truth from a young man who has been through 7 months of hell to get to this point. And he isn't hiding anything. Let me tell you what's really going on in Cleveland right now. This story is more important than football. It's about redemption, not giving up, and a franchise that was stuck in the middle of the pack finally finding a way out in the most unlikely place. The Cleveland Browns have been the butt of NFL jokes for years.
Listen, we trust all of our guys. We trust our guys to perform. He's no different. And playing a backup quarterback role, as we've talked about over the years, that's tough to come in there. But we trust him. I know there's things that he's going to want to do better, but that's why we work.
A team that has gone through more quarterbacks than most of us have had hot meals now has something they haven't had in years: hope. And that hope is number 2, and has a last name that is more important in football than almost any other. Shedeur Sanders is now the first Browns quarterback in the team's history to have a real chance of winning his first 2 games. Take a moment to let that sink in. No quarterback from Cleveland has ever done this. No one. No quarterback in the long, often painful history of the Browns has ever started their career with 2 wins in a row. When reporters asked Shedeur if he was surprised by this strange statistical anomaly, he gave one of the coldest answers you'll ever hear from a rookie. "I don't really believe in analytics and all that. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I'm thinking about what I can do and what I can control." That's not being cocky. That is a level of confidence and a killer instinct that you just can't teach. One of the best athletes in American sports history has trained this young man. And it shows in everything he says, every choice he makes on the field, and every time he talks to his teammates.
He is just like a sweet guy. Like, I think he's like a little, I don't know, like he's just pure. Like, he's a pure, innocent kid, and he loves playing football, and he's super confident in himself.
Yeah.
And I think he believes everything he says.
Let's face it, Shedeur Sanders is the Adam Bull of the NFL. He's cocky and lovable. I'm cocky and I'm lovable. I think I'm the best sports talk
Yeah, but
host
he
in
doesn't come
America.
across as cocky to me.
Yes, he does, and that's okay.
I don't think he
love
does.
the cockiness. I want the cockiness. I want more. I don't want my quarterback being a
Wait a
soft
minute,
ass.
you a hypocrite.
What?
Baker did the same thing and y'all hated it.
Well,
No,
that's not true.
no, hold on.
I did not hate it at first.
I was gonna say that. He had.
I did not hate Baker. No, because at first I was like, okay, well, that's not true, because I didn't hate Baker. I like Baker at first.
So when did it turn?
When he started playing crap?
But this is where things really start to get crazy. And this is the part that is really blowing up on social media right now. When reporters asked Shedeur about the big issue that has been going on in the Cleveland locker room for months, the one about head coach Kevin Stefanski, he didn't try to avoid it. One reporter asked him straight out about the people outside the building who have been saying that Stefanski was trying to hurt Shedeur by keeping him on the bench and playing politics with the quarterback position instead of putting the best player on the field. Most new players would have avoided that question like their job depended on it. They would have given a clean, PR-approved answer about trusting the process and respecting the coaching staff. But not Shedeur. He looked that reporter right in the eye and said, "So you just want to cause trouble, huh?" The room went wild. You could feel the tension and excitement in the air. This wasn't a scared new person who was afraid of saying the wrong thing. This was a young man who knew exactly what was being asked of him, knew how politics worked, and wouldn't let anyone trick him into making headlines. But then he did something even more amazing. He admitted that there was a problem without making it worse. I can't really control what people do outside the building. I can't do that. I don't go out there and tell them to do whatever they want. That's not something I can control or do anything about. He's threading the needle perfectly, admitting that some people do have questions about Stefanski's choices. Yes, there has been some controversy, but he is getting through it. He isn't blaming his coach, but he isn't acting like the problem doesn't exist either. And when asked more about his real relationship with Stefanski, what goes on behind closed doors when the cameras aren't rolling, Shedeur stayed professional, but was clearly reserved. Like a coach, for sure. He tells me what to do on the field and off the field. Everything, including our relationship, has grown. That's not exactly a strong endorsement, is it? There is no praise or talk about how Stefanski is like a father or mentor. It's friendly and professional, but there's clearly some space between them. And really, how could there not be? Consider what Shedeur has been through in the last 7 months. He didn't say it straight out, but when a reporter asked if the trip had been harder than he let on, if he had been putting on a happy face while dying inside, his answer was chilling. First of all, I have God. He can keep me safe through everything because of that. But we're in a good place right now, and I don't want to look back. I don't like thinking about how I felt back then because I'm here now. I don't ever think about the past or things that have happened. Read what they say. This young man had a very bad experience. He said that the last 7 months have been hard, but he didn't say what made them so hard. Was it the politics of the quarterback race? Did he think he wasn't getting a fair chance? Was it watching from the sidelines, knowing he could help the team win but having to wait? We can only guess, but there was no mistaking the pain in his voice when he talked about that time.
All right, so how about this? All right, what if Coach Stefanski said, if you and Dad sit next to each other for the whole game, then Shedeur can start? Would you do it or no?
Honey, you'll never get in.
Oh my gosh. Now we gotta ask Dad.
And this is what sets Shedeur Sanders apart from all the other rookie quarterbacks who have come into this league in the past few years. He isn't happy. Most first-time players who win their first start are overjoyed, celebrating, and feeling like they've made it. Not Shedeur. When asked if he could keep his starting job for another week, or if he had done enough to earn Kevin Stefanski's trust, he quickly shut that story down. But I don't feel comfortable at all. That's the most important thing. You need to know how fast or slow things happen in life. It could be taken at any time. I never feel at ease in any situation. I always want to do better than what people expect of me, and I always want to learn. That way of thinking is why the Browns may have finally found their franchise quarterback. This player won't be happy with just one good game. This person knows that in the NFL, your last snap is all that matters, and everything you've worked for can fall apart in a second. He has seen it happen. He saw other quarterbacks in that building get fired. He knows how unstable this job is in Cleveland, where the team has been looking for their guy since they came back in 1999. Shedeur is also making a special bond with his teammates. When he talked about that first touchdown pass, the one that seemed to light a fire under the whole team and give them all hope, he taught us something important about being a leader. It's all about faith. The guys around me believe in me, which is why I'm so sure of myself. That's the most important thing about having a team, an offense, or a spark. You need to have people who believe in you and your team, and I'm sure they believe in me too. That's not just talk. You can see it on the field. Watch how receivers like Harold run routes for him, how they fight for extra yards after catching the ball, knowing their quarterback threw it exactly where it needed to go. Shedeur specifically called out Harold for never giving up on plays, always getting yards after the catch, and setting a high standard for the whole receiving corps. That's a quarterback who is already acting like a leader and noticing and encouraging the players around him. But also, and the new players in Cleveland, they're more than just co-workers, they're family. When Shedeur was asked about being part of this highly praised Browns draft class and playing with other first-year players who are making an immediate impact, his answer was telling. I'm just glad that Andrew Berry made the decisions he did and that the coaching staff got us all here. This is a great class. We all get along. We are all like family. I'm just glad we're all here together, and I know that there are going to be some very exciting things in store for us. We're here to go above and beyond. It looks like Andrew Berry, the Browns general manager, is a genius right now. The choice to draft Shedeur and bring in this whole class of rookies who are all making a difference and seem to really like and support each other is changing the culture of this franchise. And culture is important. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your teammates don't trust each other and are not willing to fight for each other, you will never win anything important. It's also very impressive how much Shedeur knows about football and how well he prepares for it at such a young age. When asked about the defense of the team they would be playing next, he didn't just say that they were good or well coached. Like a pro, he broke it down. They have good coaching. They are very good at rushing the passer. They do a great job of covering. Overall, their disguises are very good. They know how to put pressure on the quarterback. They are a great defense in every way. We also know that they will make us some different food. A rookie in his second start shouldn't be able to study films that well and know what defenses do well and where the problems will come from. Most young quarterbacks are still trying to learn their own playbook, let alone break down their opponent's habits in such detail. But Shedeur has been practicing in his head all season. He was studying, learning, and getting ready for this exact moment, even when he wasn't getting physical reps with the first team and was just standing on the sidelines watching other quarterbacks run the offense. And now that he's getting those physical reps, he's getting to know his teammates much better. I'm getting more and more comfortable with that role and that position every day, minute by meeting and meeting by meeting. They are starting to feel more at ease with me. You can also see it happening right now. Root's timing is getting better. The talk at the line of scrimmage is getting better. The offensive line is getting to know his rhythm, his habits, and when he likes to snap the ball. All those little things that don't seem important to casual fans, but are very important for running an NFL offense well. His relationship with Ethan, the center, is very important. The connection between the quarterback and the center is one of the most important on the field. These two players need to be in perfect sync, talk to each other all the time about defensive fronts and blitz pickups, and trust each other completely. Shedeur didn't take it for granted when asked how that relationship had grown. The connection has definitely grown. I'm glad he's out there. He's a smart person and a smart player, and he makes my life easier. I'm glad he's there with me. He has shown amazing maturity, even in how he dealt with the Gabriel situation. Gabriel, the player who lost his starting job, is back on the team. That could have made things uncomfortable or tense, but Shedeur praised him right away. He works hard. He's still the same person. I think that a lot of people in this locker room act the same way no matter what. He went to college for a long time, so he learned a lot about a lot of different things and met a lot of different people. He knows how to connect with and get along with a lot of different people. He had been good since he got back. He was cool the whole time. That's a lot of emotional intelligence right there. Shedeur didn't need to say anything about Gabriel. He could have just said something vague and moved on, but instead he went out of his way to praise the guy whose job he basically took to show that there's no bad blood and that they're all on the same team with the same goals. That's the kind of thing that keeps locker rooms together and stops things from falling apart and ruining a season. The national attention is also growing in ways that would be too much for most new players. This week, even the President of the United States spoke out in support of Shedeur, and when people asked him about it, he handled it with perfect grace. He has definitely been a supporter for a while. I'm just glad he's there. He even took time out of his day to say he supported it. No political statements, no arguments, just thanks and moving on to the next question. That's media savvy that most people don't get until they've been in the business for years. But the most interesting thing that happened at the press conference was when Shedeur talked about how his own game has changed over time. The little things that fans might not notice, but that make a good quarterback great. You can improve your footwork when you hand off the ball, find defenders, and know that the windows close a little faster during a game. There are a lot of things you could go back and do again in a game. That self-awareness, the ability to look at his own work critically and find specific ways to do better. That's what top players do. He isn't just happy that he won. He is already breaking down his footwork on handoffs, looking at how quickly passing windows close in the NFL compared to college, and figuring out where he can get better. You need to have a growth mindset if you want to be successful in the long run. There was also a funny moment when reporters asked about something Shedeur had said that people took the wrong way, and he laughed it off. Yeah, that was just a joke, dude. That was a joke. A lot of people didn't understand what that meant. He kept his personality, sense of humor, and humanity, even during this serious press conference about his career and the future of a franchise. He is not a robot. He is a young man in his 20s who is living his dream, and he will joke around and have fun with it. Shedeur at quarterback is also making the running game come alive. He specifically mentioned Dylan Sampson, talking about how Sampson's numbers started out slowly, but his mind never changed. Dylan's mind has been the same all year. You wouldn't even know if you didn't look at the numbers. When he's out there, he has good energy and everything else. That's important because defenses will start stacking up to stop the pass if Shedeur keeps playing well. If you have a running back who is getting into a groove and has the right attitude and work ethic, it will open up the whole offense. And don't get me wrong, this offense is about to become must-see TV. Watching Shedeur work, seeing him lead the huddle, break down defenses, and make throws that other rookies can't, you have to watch it. The Browns' offense hasn't been this fun in years, maybe even decades. It's not just about the wins and the stats, though those are important. It's the confidence, the swagger, and the faith that are spreading throughout the whole team. Shedeur isn't backing down, even when teams have tough defenses, great pass rushers, and smart disguises. He's ready for the challenge. It's cool to be able to go out there and study them and then go on the field. It's really cool. Most quarterbacks would be scared. He's happy. He wants to see how he stacks up against the best. Wants to see how well his training holds up against the best. Shedeur is under a lot of pressure because no Cleveland Browns quarterback has ever won his first 2 starts. The weight of the team's history, the fact that fans have been waiting for a good quarterback for 25 years, and the fact that being Deion Sanders' son means being in the spotlight all the time, would crush most people. But Shedeur looks like it's made for this. He has always been in the public eye. One of the most famous athletes in the world has taught him. He is used to having to meet expectations, deal with stress, and face criticism. It's interesting to see how the story about Kevin Stefanski is changing. For months, people said, whispered, and suggested that the head coach wasn't giving Shedeur a fair chance, and that politics, ego, or some other reason was keeping the young quarterback on the bench. And now that Shedeur is playing well, those whispers have turned into roars. There are a lot of Browns fans on social media asking why it took so long, why Stefanski didn't start Shedeur sooner, and how many wins the team could have had if the change had been made sooner. But here's the deal. Shedeur isn't making those flames worse. He could easily betray Stefanski, could hint that he should have been playing the whole time, could become the face of a story about players versus coaches that would be the talk of sports radio for weeks. Instead, he's taking the high road by focusing on his own performance, praising his teammates, and keeping any problems he might have with the coaching staff to himself. That's how professionals act. That's grown up. That's what franchises want their quarterbacks to do. It is clear that getting to this point hasn't been easy. Shedeur said several times how hard the last 7 months have been, how he's had to keep his faith in hard times, and how thankful he is to finally have this chance. It makes you wonder what really happened back then. Did you have problems with your coaches? Did he think he was being disrespected? Was there a time when he thought about asking for a trade or making the organization do what he wanted? We might never find out those things. And to be honest, maybe that's for the best. Shedeur seems happy to let the past stay in the past and focus on the present and the chances that lie ahead. I don't think about the past and things that happened before. That's a great way to think for any athlete, but especially for a quarterback in Cleveland, where thinking about past failures can completely take over your mind. It is impossible not to compare him to his father. And even though Shedeur has been making his own way, it's clear that having Deion Sanders as a dad has helped him a lot. The mental preparation, the knowledge of how the media works, and the confidence that comes from being raised by someone who was the best at what they did. You can see it in the way Shedeur acts. But he doesn't want to be Deion. He is becoming Shedeur, making his own story and leaving his own mark. And what a story it is turning into. Cleveland might go crazy with joy if he wins his second start. The Browns fans, who have been through so much heartbreak, so many false starts and so many failed prospects, may have finally found their man, the franchise quarterback who will bring them back to the playoffs, maybe even the Super Bowl that every Browns fan has been dreaming of since the team came back. The people who help Shedeur are also getting better. Receivers are making plays. Running backs are getting through. The offensive line is beginning to work well together. When you have a quarterback who makes everyone around him better and boosts the play of his teammates by being prepared and confident, the whole offense changes. That's what is going on in Cleveland right now. With Shedeur at quarterback, players who didn't look very good earlier in the season suddenly look competent or even good. Is it a coincidence? Not at all. The defense also needs to love what the other team is doing. It gets easier when your offense scores points, controls the clock, and gives you chances to rest and make changes. Shedeur specifically said that he has a great defense, which shows that he knows football is a team sport and he can't do it alone. But he's doing more than his share. The question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders can be a starting NFL quarterback in the future. He's already shown that. How good can he get? Is he going to be a good starter who runs the game well and doesn't make mistakes? Or will he become an elite quarterback, a Pro Bowler every year, and maybe even a future MVP candidate? Based on what we've seen so far, his work ethic, mindset, and natural talent, the sky is the limit. But right now, he isn't thinking about any of that. He is focused on his next opponent, challenge, and chance to show what he can do. He didn't get emotional or sentimental when asked about the upcoming home game and how it will feel to start in front of the Cleveland fans. I think it will be fun. It will be a lot of fun. But you have to know that I'm mentally in grind mode right now. Knowing how to break through this defense that we're up against. Mode of grinding. That's where the best players live, not in the comfort of having a steady job, not in the celebration of past successes, but in the constant search for excellence. Shedeur Sanders is in grind mode, which is what makes champions different from everyone else. And the whole NFL should pay attention, because this young man isn't happy with just being good. He wants to be the best. He wants to go above and beyond what everyone expects of him, prove everyone wrong, and take the Cleveland Browns to places they haven't been in decades. It will be interesting to see how the relationship with Kevin Stefanski develops. Will they ever really trust each other and have real chemistry? Or will this always be a business-like relationship between coach and player? We'll see what happens, but right now both of them want to win football games. And if Shedeur keeps playing like this, with the calmness, preparation, and ability to make plays he's shown so far, those wins will keep coming. Fans of the Cleveland Browns, you've been through enough. You've seen parade after parade of bad quarterbacks stumble through your stadium, shattering your hopes year after year. But things are different now. Something unique. For decades, people have been praying for Shedeur Sanders, the answer to the longest-running problem in professional sports. He has the skills, the right attitude, the ability to lead, and the support of his teammates. Now he just needs time to find ways to grow and a coaching staff that believes in him. That second start is huge. Winning. It would make him the guy for sure, give the organization the confidence to build around him for the long term, and give fans something to believe in that they really need. The stress is huge, but Shedeur Sanders has been dealing with it his whole life. This is just another test, another chance to show the world what he can do and prove the doubters wrong. Right now, here's what I need from you. If you're excited about Shedeur Sanders and what he's bringing to the Cleveland Browns, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if you think he's the real deal or if it's too soon to tell. Are you falling for the hype, or do you need to see more before you believe it? If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? We're giving you all the most recent NFL news, analysis, and insider information that you won't find anywhere else. If you want to make sure you never miss another upload, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. The Shedeur Sanders era in Cleveland is just getting started, and believe me, you won't want to miss this ride because it's going to be amazing. This could be the beginning of something great. A franchise quarterback's backstory that includes saving a team that was having a hard time and bringing glory back to Cleveland. Or maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself. That kind of talk might be too soon. But I have a feeling that years from now, we'll look back on these first few starts and see them as the start of something very special. This is Shedeur Sanders. He's ready, and he's not going anywhere. The Browns may have finally found their man, and the whole NFL could be about to change. This story is only getting started, so stay tuned.